everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so grateful that you are here. My name is Nikki, and I use my clairaudient and channeling abilities to help you find the magic within. If you're new here, welcome. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you will be notified when I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today's video, I'm excited to be bringing it to you today, is which vampire film contains a channeled message for you? And all three of these vampire films that contain these messages are near and dear to my heart. They are all very different in terms of vampire style, and I think they all had a unique flavor and shook up the genre in many different ways. And I just love all the elements. I love the actors in these films and just how they're all different from one another and how each of them contain messages that very well may be applicable in your life right now. So in the next section of this video, you will see 3 piles. Meditate on the pile that is speaking to you, and then go to the timestamps that I provide down below so you can go directly to your reading from there. Also, if any part of a message does not resonate, just know that message is not for you. Take what resonates and leave what does not. Let's get into it. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. The vampire film that contains a channel message for you is the 1996 film From Dusk Till Dawn, directed by Robert Rodriguez, starring George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino. The film revolves around 2 brothers who are on the run from the law because they just robbed a bank and they are wanting to cross over the border into Mexico to get to this stripper club where they can shell up for the night and negotiate dealings with the bank robbery the next morning. But in order to cross the Mexico border, they need some hostages. So they kidnap this retired pastor and his 2 children in order to help them get across the border. And when they get to the stripper club, things get really interesting because what they don't know is that the place is filled with blood-sucking vampires. So let's dive into your cards and see what messages from this film are for you. First, we have the 5 of Cups in reverse. 3rd chakra, Archangel Chamuel in reverse. And creation. Okay, so this is the first message I would like to talk about here. With the 5 of Cups in reverse, this is a feeling of healing from a setback, a loss, a disappointment. Something didn't go the way that you intended it to go, and you are in the process right now from healing from that. And with the 3rd chakra, Archangel Chamuel in reverse here, this situation has certainly taken a toll on your self-confidence and your self-esteem. So Archangel Chamuel is coming through very strong right now to help you harness that power. And so there may be a need for you here to focus on the solar plexus chakra, which is the yellow colored chakra, which is located in the stomach area. That is the chakra of personal power and confidence. So Archangel Chamuel wants to help you gain that confidence back. So in regards to the film, I'm being drawn to the title of the film, From Dusk Till Dawn. And with the creation card here, this is all about seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. You're in this healing process right now, and as you continue to work on your self-confidence and your personal power, restoring what has been lost from this setback or this disappointment, the angels are saying that your creative expression is actually what is helping you to heal. You have an artistic knack about you, and whatever your career is, whatever your passion is, it's meant to be something artistic, whether that is writing or acting, singing, something in the creative genre, something artistic, something creative that will allow you to express yourself creatively. And as you work on this now, you will get closer to that light at the end of the tunnel. Now, they are jumping ahead to the end of the film here, where they are in the midst of battling the vampires, and it's like when they came into their power about taking the situation into their own hands, the light from the sun started shining into the bar and like killing all of these blood-sucking creatures. So they're showing me that like as you continue to heal and as you continue to work on your creative passions and heal your solar plexus chakra, that light is just going to shine through more powerfully, and it's literally rising from dusk till dawn, seeing the light coming out of the darkness into the light. And that's what they're showing me is the ending of the movie. I didn't think we were going to jump ahead that quickly to the end of the movie, but that's what they're showing me. They're showing me the light in the movie shining on the darkness and just obliterating the darkness and coming into your true power. So definitely there's a need here to heal the solar plexus chakra. Call on Archangel Shamuel because he wants to help you harness that power for your self-confidence and continue to work on your creative endeavors, because that is helping you heal at this time as well. The next message that wants to come out is Five of Pentacles in reverse, the World in reverse, and forgiveness. Okay, so with this message, they are showing me the retired pastor in the film From Dusk Till Dawn. If you remember his story, he actually lost his wife. She died, and he, as a pastor, he lost his faith in God. And you can just see how that kind of made him cold and bitter. But at the end of the film, when they are going to battle these mini vampires, because there were so many of them, he came into this newfound faith in God, and he found forgiveness, and that is what gave him the power to really to stand in his power and to face these vampires head on. Because if you've seen the film, it was seriously one of the most scariest scenes at the end of the film when they're coming out to go and face these vampires. There were hundreds of them just surrounded, and it was really terrifying. Like for me, that would be like one of the scariest things to ever endure. But with this right here, because he was so hurt by losing his wife and blaming God for that, it made him cold and bitter, and it turned his world upside down, which we have the World in reverse here, and it caused him to have a mindset of really narrow thinking. He wasn't seeing things as they really were. But with the Five of Pentacles in reverse here, with your situation, I feel that this is all about positive change coming out of that energy. But in order to do that, broadening your perspective and allowing yourself to see more than one option. And there is definitely a need for forgiveness here, whether this is somebody you need to forgive in your life personally, or if this is forgiveness of yourself. And I do want to reiterate that when it comes to forgiveness, it's important to know that it cannot be forced. So take your time in forgiving people, take your time in forgiving yourself, but just know that the longer that you stay in the unforgiving energy, it keeps you in the narrow-minded thinking where your world is turned upside down, where you can't see things clearly. The angels are showing me how the pastor in the film From Dusk Till Dawn, his whole world was turned upside down, but that it took something drastic in order for him to see the light and really come into that forgiveness. So sometimes situations come into our lives to turn our world upside down. So I feel like that is something that is going on in your life right now. Something has happened that has turned your world upside down, literally, but there is positive change coming in. There's just a need to broaden your mindset and not allow yourself to see things from a narrow point of view, and to find that forgiveness of the self and to find forgiveness for other people when that feels right for you. And to just know that staying in the unforgiving energy is unhealthy and it does have detrimental effects over time. So do what you have to do without, forcing it. Because forgiveness is something that should come naturally. It's not something that should be forced. So just remember that as well, and do what's comfortable for you in order to get to that place again. The next message that wants to come out is King of Swords, all tied up in reverse, and Enlightenment. Okay, so with this message, this has a very strong masculine energy, and that does not mean that you have to be a male in order to receive this message. This could be for any gender, but the energy is very masculine in nature. It's someone who is very strong, who uses their intellect to look at a situation and look at all the possible outcomes and kind of gauge what the best course of action is. And they are showing me George Clooney's character in From Dusk Till Dawn. He represents the King of Swords here, and he was very strong in the film, and he had no trouble taking charge when faced with a decision. He cut away all the BS as soon as it was encountered, but there was one weakness that he had in the film, and that was his younger brother. And his younger brother kept him in this tied up energy because Seth, played by George Clooney in the film, was neglecting to see the truth about his brother. His brother was actually a sex offender and also a murderer. So they didn't only just rob banks. His brother did these other things as well. And when they are making their plans in order to get across the border, they actually had a hostage, but when Seth goes to get food, he comes back and he sees that his brother has actually killed the hostage. And you can see him grappling with this because it's not who he is, and he loves his brother, but in a sense he's enabling his bad behavior. And in the film, when he sees that he has killed the hostage, he actually grabs his brother's head. He's like, "What are you doing? We don't do things this way. This is not how we do it." And it's just a struggle for him because he he's really refusing to see who his brother is. But later in the film, when they get to the stripper bar and his brother is bitten by a vampire and he turns into a vampire, it's like Seth looks at him for a moment and it's like he's seeing him for who he truly is in that moment. He didn't see him for who he truly was when he was a human, but once he became a vampire, he looks at him and he's just like, yep. And then what does he do? He kills him. He has that King of Swords energy, and he made that decision in the moment from his intellect because he knew that there wasn't any hope for his brother. So he was enlightened. So with the enlightenment card, he was literally enlightened. And I feel like that is what is happening with you right now. I feel like you are being enlightened about somebody in your life who has held you back, and you are seeing them for the first time for who they truly are. And I do feel like this is somebody in your family. It does not have to be. It could also be somebody you're in a relationship with. This could be somebody at work, a friendship. But I'm getting very strong family vibes, especially because the relationship in the film was between two brothers. So it very well could be, this could be a sibling that you're having issues with as well, or your mom or your dad or your grandma, grandpa, anybody in your family. But I see you definitely as the King of Swords energy, just like George Clooney is in this film. And how when it comes time, when you see things clearly, when you are enlightened about them, then you take decisive action. So that's why the all tied up card is in reverse here. It's because you're coming out of that energy. You're seeing things as they truly are. The next message that wants to come out is the Magician, Door to Romance in reverse, and Discovery. Okay, so for some others of you, there is some issues in the romance department I see here. There is, and it's because there is a person in your life who is not being authentic and true to you. So this has very strong feminine energy with the Magician card here, and they're showing me Selma Hayek when she comes out to do her little dance on stage, just how mesmerized the men and women in the facility or the bar that they were at were so mesmerized by her because she was absolutely beautiful. And she had a cape on, and it's just so interesting that the Magician, the gal on this card here, has a cape on as well. So yeah, I'm definitely seeing Selma Hayek coming out, and the whole room was just like silent when she came out on the stage. But she's like dancing with this snake, and it's just all about like, the epitome of an illusion, because she was showing them someone that she wasn't truly. And then when she turns into a vampire, you see who she truly is, and it's just like this reptilian who, feeds on the blood of humans. And it was just she's what is representing this magician, this person in your life. Of course, it's probably not to that extreme, but definitely feminine energy in your life right now, someone who is deceptive and just not showing who they truly are. And with the Door to Romance in reverse here, it's definitely not allowing you to truly be who you are. And Spirit is saying that there is a greater need here for more self-discovery, for you to take this time to truly learn more about who you are, what you want. And when you harness that self-love for yourself, then you're exuding that out in the universe, and the universe is saying, okay, you're ready for someone who truly does value and accept you. We're going to continue to help you cut away this magician energy of these people who don't have your best intentions at heart. So be mindful of this feminine, deceptive energy, because with the magician has the ability to cast anyone under their spell, and that's exactly what Selma Hayek was doing in the film. So if there's somebody in your life who represents her or has the qualities where has, the ability to just mesmerize, but then you see who they truly are later when they show that they're not as good of a person as they are showing the world to be. So this person that you might be pining over in the present moment right now, there is something better for you, but it all stems with first understanding your true self-worth and not allowing people to manipulate and deceive you. The next message is Queen of Swords in reverse, strategy, and vanity. Okay, so for some of you, Spirit is saying that there is a need for you to come up with a strategy or a plan with your current situation right now, whatever that may be. And with the Queen of Swords in reverse, they're saying it is super important to not let your emotions lead you astray, because our heart doesn't lie to us, but sometimes it is important to use our head to discern situations and make sure that we are being safe and healthy in the decisions that we are making. And Spirit is showing me the scene at the end of the film. Basically, at the end of the film, they lock themselves in this storeroom and the vampires are all outside waiting. And in that storeroom, they see all the neglected items of people that these vampires have killed in the past. So they create a plan to take down the vampires. They create this strategy in order to survive. And this was the moment when the pastor came into his faith, and they had water back there. He blessed it, made it holy. God blessed the water in the film, and they ventured out to do battle because they were coming into their power and they were ready to take charge. It was just that before they went out into the bar to go battle, the pastor said, he turns to his two kids and he says, "If I get bit, kill me right away." And the kids were like, "Okay, we will do that." And that is what the Queen of Swords in reverse is saying here, to use logic in this situation that you are in right now and not allow your emotions to lead you astray, because in that film, the pastor actually does get turned into a vampire, and the son, he let his emotions get in the way, and instead of killing his dad who turned into a vampire, he got bit because he hesitated and ended up getting killed by the vampires. So it's just important to, sometimes there's a need to really choose the head over the heart, because sometimes the consequences of that can be unhealthy and detrimental. So whatever's going on in your life right now, just look at it from a place of logic and be objective about it, intellectual about it, and not allow your emotions to control the situation. While it's important to feel our emotions, sometimes we have to put the emotions aside and use our head to come up with a strategic plan. And with the vanity card here, this is just all about thinking that you'll have bigger, better in the future when you are somewhere else. The important thing is to stay as present as possible, because in the film, George Clooney and his brother, Seth and Richard in the film, they felt like they had to rob a bank to enjoy life. And that's like all about a lack mentality and looking outside of themselves for validation. They thought they needed to be validated by having more material things or more money. So Spirit is saying not to look outside of yourself. All the answers that you need are within. And while money is energy, I'm being called to talk about money. It's not everything in the world. Yes, we need it for goods and services. Yes, we need it to enjoy the finer things in life. but ultimately that is not what life is all about. So it is important to not place your internal validation on money. It's important to not put your internal validation from other people to approve of yourself, because that is all that matters in the end. The last message that wants to come out is take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. So with this card, they're showing me the ending scene and the two survivors. This is a spoiler, yes. George Clooney, Seth, and Kate, played by Juliette Lewis. They are out in the sunlight. They are seeing the dawn rising out from the dusk. And Kate asks Seth if he wants any company, and he's like, no, because he knows that she has a better life waiting for her. So he gives her some money for her trouble, and then you see her get in the RV and then drive off. Like, this is the ultimate card of taking a break, taking time to recharge and refuel. And it's open to interpretation as to where she went. She probably went on a vacation. So that's exactly what this card is saying, that ultimate break. They finally caught a break. So take that break. Take that time to rest, recharge, rejuvenate yourself. Go on a vacation, take a bubble bath, speak to some people that you love, do fun things that bring you joy. Anything that gets you back in that mode of filling up your own cup and recharging and resting, so that when you get back at daily life, you can come at it with all that you've got. Thank you. Pile number 1, those are your messages. If it resonated, if you enjoyed the reading, please be sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Hi, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. The vampire film that contains a channeled message for you is the 1985 film Fright Night, directed by Tom Holland, starring William Ragsdale and Chris Sarandon. This film is about high school student Charlie Brewster, who is navigating the difficulties of high school life, his relationship with his girlfriend Amy, and also comes into the realization that a vampire has moved in next door to him by the name of Jerry Dandridge. And the rest of the film just epitomizes Charlie's journey as he tries to get people to believe him about this and to take down Jerry Dandridge once and for all. So let's see what your cards hold and see what messages are coming out. We have 3 of Cups, Deceit in reverse, and Despondence. Okay, so this first message, I can see that you have experienced someone who lied to you. It caused a lot of heartbreak. It really hurt you. It made you very sad, and it also left you in this stuck feeling energy of depression and made you play the events of this relationship on repeat in your mind. But with the 3 of Cups here, I can see that you do have a very strong support system of friends in your life who have been helping you get through this, and that's why the Deceit card is in reverse, is because they have done a lot for you in order to help you heal and get through this at this time. Like, your friends are truly amazing. You have a very strong support system. And in the film Fright Night, they are showing me Charlie, his 2 friends, Evil Ed and Amy, and how devoted they were to helping Charlie. They didn't necessarily believe him or agree with him, but they still loved him so much that they went to Peter Vincent's house, the great vampire killer, who happened to have his own TV show, was very iconic, somebody Charlie looked up to ask him if he would come to Jerry Dandridge's house, the vampire, and to show them that he wasn't a vampire, to prove to Charlie that Jerry Dandridge was not a vampire. And at first, Mr. Vincent was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can help you. I'm kind of doing my own thing here. And Amy, she's like, I have a $500 savings bond. She just, for Charlie, because she cared that much about him. She gave her $500 savings bond to Peter Vincent because she loved Charlie so much. So I see that you have some amazing, strong friends. Love these people hard because they will stick with you through thick and thin. And I can see that that is definitely is getting you out of this stuck, depressive energy right now. It has been a process to heal, but the support of your friends and that human connection has really played a major role in your healing process. So definitely practice gratitude for these people and love them hard. Don't let them go, because when people are loyal to you like that and they stick with you through the bad times as well as the good, those are the people that truly matter. Hold on to them tight. The next message that wants to come through is Two of Swords, Angel of Love, and Growth. Okay, so for some of you, I see that you are debating, trying to make a decision in the love department between two potential love interests. In the film Fright Night, I am being shown the love triangle that takes place between Amy, Charlie Brewster, and Jerry Dandridge, the vampire. And Spirit is showing me that with the two choices that you are trying to figure out which route to go right now, which person to choose, one is very safe and comfortable like Charlie Brewster, and the other one is the one who lights a fire in you and is uncertain and it's fearful and it feels unsafe. So you have the safe choice and the unsafe choice. And Spirit is saying that it's up to you, whatever consequences take place as a result of your decision. There is growth no matter who you choose. And it's just important to really make sure while making your decision that you're making the decision from a place of self-compassion and self-love that you have for yourself. It's understanding that with both of these decisions that you have, that you don't need somebody to validate you. And that is what the Angel of Love is bringing into your life right now, is helping you also see the truth about who you really are. And the love that you cultivate for yourself is more important than, first and foremost, before you bring love to a relationship. And the growth card also, like, I am also feeling called to talk about this here. With the growth card, sometimes it's a matter of going after what does light a fire in you, because that is where the most growth happens. Like, because with this card is all about like breaking out of your comfort zone and traveling to a foreign country. And definitely Jerry Dandridge in this film is, the unsafe route here. He's a vampire, but he's also sexy as hell. And they're showing me the scene, which is one of my favorite scenes ever in the film, when she's so drawn to him in the nightclub, and they're like dancing on the dance floor, and just how mesmerized he was. But in her, she knows there's something dangerous about him as well. And it's up to you if you want to explore that. But no matter what you choose, there will be growth in certain areas, depending on what it is that your soul has come here to learn. So fortunately, I cannot make that decision for you. Only you can make that decision for you. Listen to your heart and follow that path, because whatever decision that you make will be the best one for you. And sometimes when you, with the Angel of Love and bringing that compassion to yourself, when you are truly bringing that self-care and that self-love to yourself, it really does help you open your eyes as to which choice is best for you. So remember that when making your decision as well. So safe or unsafe? What's it going to be? Next message that wants to come out is Queen of Pentacles in reverse, attachment, and facade. Okay, so with this message here, I'm being called to the very beginning of the film, not the later part of the film where Amy and Charlie have a newfound love for each other. This is the beginning of the film. Like, they're showing me how Amy kind of was with Charlie. Like, she was supportive and loving towards him because she really did love him, but it kind of clouded her vision of herself. It didn't really allow her to see herself as she truly was. And she kind of, in the beginning of the film, has an unhealthy attachment to Charlie. And that's why the attachment card is coming out here. I feel like there's two different kinds of messages here. There's one where there is somebody who is clingy in your relationship, and there is also messages for people who may be attached to people in an unhealthy manner. Because with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, this is all about a selfish, greedy lover. And in the beginning of the film, Charlie was that selfish, greedy lover. He kind of only wanted one thing from Amy in the beginning of the film. And they're fooling around in the beginning of the film, and he starts to get a little handsy, and she says, "Stop, don't do that." And he goes, "We've been going together for almost a year now, and all I ever hear is, 'Charlie, stop it.'" Which, you know, he's a teenage guy, and he's got his needs, obviously. But Amy didn't need to neglect her needs as well, because after this fight, you see the dynamic of where she sees him get angry, and then in order to make him happy, she's already ready to give herself to him in that way. And she's sitting on the bed, ready to have him come to her, and he's completely ignoring her. So you kind of see that dynamic of where he wasn't really in a good headspace for the relationship, and then you see her where she's like really, really wanting to do anything to make him happy. And in the process, kind of losing a sense of herself in that way, because he was more focused on the vampire next door in that moment than he was on the beautiful girl waiting for him in his bed. And it's just a matter of realizing that as the film progressed on, they did come into that newfound love at the end of the film, but a lot of other things had to happen. Charlie had to come into the realization that he was going to lose Amy to Jerry Dandridge, and then eventually, you know, had to realize how much he really did love and value Amy. Something drastic had to happen for him to do that. And in real life, that doesn't always happen. So it's just important to make sure that we are being true to who we are and not losing ourselves in the process for someone else, because we will never be happy. You will never be happy if you're in a relationship with that type of person, or if you are that type of person. So there's just a big need to let go of attachment to people, to things, to situations, and to make sure that you're also able to see selfish, greedy people for who they truly are in the moment, because they're dealing with their own issues. That's where they are at that point in time. And until they are ready to address those issues, it's important to recognize what you will and will not put up with. The next message is Ace of Pentacles in reverse, community in reverse, and rejection. Okay, so some of you in here are feeling a sense of isolation and loneliness. And I feel that it is because some of you have underwent a spiritual awakening of some sort, and your vibration has been rising. And in the process, you're noticing that you don't jive with people that you normally are used to jiving with. But Spirit is saying that there is a need for you to put yourself out there, to do things that you love so that people can see you, and don't allow yourself to be afraid to be rejected, because rejection is actually Spirit's protection. And if somebody's going to reject you, they're not meant to be in your life anyway. That is actually for your higher good. So whoever wants to play the rejection game, just let them go. And to put yourself out there, and if spiritual communities, meditation groups, book clubs, libraries, or whatever it is that you jive with, that you love, go meet some like-minded people and put yourself out there. Because with the Ace of Pentacles here, I'm also seeing, and with the community card in reverse here, because you're in that vulnerable state of feeling lonely and isolated, there is a tendency to perhaps attract people to your energy who may not have your best interests at heart. So be mindful of people who want to take advantage of your vulnerable state. So as you're out navigating and putting yourself out there, be mindful of that, because Spirit is showing me the scene in Fright Night where Evil Ed is out in that alley and he's running from Jerry Dandridge the vampire, and Jerry Dandridge catches up to him, and you can see the emotions that are just coming from Evil Ed, because in the beginning of the film you see like how he's a snarky little dude, right? Like he's got a mouth on him. But then in this scene you see how vulnerable he is. And Jerry Dandridge, because he's a manipulative vampire preying on his vulnerabilities, he's like, yeah, so all you have to do is take my hand and people won't bully you anymore and you will be treated very, very well. And you can see Evil Ed with the tears streaming down his face, that vulnerable moment, because you come into the realization that he puts on this facade of acting hard and tough because he is bullied at school, treated very badly, and he, because of that sense of isolation and loneliness, he felt he didn't have any other choice but to go with Jerry Dandridge, who made him a vampire. And then later in the film, he meets his demise when Peter Vincent takes matters into his own hands. So be very mindful while you're in this state of feeling isolated or lonely that people aren't preying on that vulnerability, because when your light starts to shine bright, it has the tendency to attract people who want to steal that life force energy from you. So don't allow them to do it. Continue to shine your light, put yourself out there, but just be mindful of how people are making you feel, because your intuition will not lie to you when you are in the midst of these people. The next message is the Lovers in reverse, the Sun in reverse, and acceptance. So yes, with the Lovers in reverse and the Sun in reverse here, this definitely feels like a love relationship where you feel like something is missing, because on the acceptance card here, there's a slice of pie missing in the pie. And it's all about wondering when things are going to get better, because the Sun in reverse is just staying in this energy of that cloudy day, wondering when the sun is going to come out. And in the film Fright Night, as we were saying earlier in the reading here, many drastic things had to happen between Amy and Charlie in order for them to get to the point of truly seeing each other for who they are from a more healthy place. Because after they defeated the vampires and they went on about their lives. You see them looking more at each other with more love because they're truly seeing each other for who they are. But they also learned a lot about themselves by having had to go through this process. So they've come into more self acceptance. Charlie stepped into his power, and Amy, having been turned into a vampire and going through that stuff, she came into a more realization about her life and who she was. So they were both operating from more self acceptance, and that's why in the final scene, when they're kissing on the bed at the very end of the movie, they're looking at each other through eyes of love. Whereas in the beginning of the film, you could see that they had these dynamics that they really needed to work on, those attachment styles, and just letting go of what no longer served. But they finally did. By working together, they came into more balance in their relationship. And that's what I'm feeling with the Lovers in reverse here, that there is something out of balance in your relationship. You're wondering when the sun will come out, but Spirit is saying that there is this self-acceptance box that is being handed to you for you to open it up, look at it, ask you how things are going in your life right now, and what can you do to truly 100% accept yourself. Because in order to truly have a loving relationship where love is unconditional, you have to take the conditions off yourself, you have to take the conditions off other people, and just come into this amazing feeling of acceptance. And if you can do that, that's exactly what happened at the end of the film with Charlie and Amy. They were able to truly accept themselves and each other, and came into that newfound love. And you can have that as well. There's just more need for acceptance. And the final message is Starseed, what lights you up? And Lumeria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. Okay, so this message is definitely for some star seeds who have clicked on this video. And you definitely are here with a mission, but star seeds are also here with a double mission, not only to raise the consciousness of ourselves, but also to raise the consciousness of the planet. And in the process, we create heaven on earth by doing it, and it is happening now. We are moving into the golden age. So all my star seeds on this pile right here, pile number 2, Spirit is asking you, what lights you up? When you follow what lights you up, you are moving into your mission, and that is what is also helping you raise the vibration of the planet and to keep creating heaven on earth. The first step that we have to remember when doing that is, by healing ourselves, we also help heal the collective consciousness. So what can you continue to do to heal? Heal ancestral karmic patterns. Is there Reiki you can do? Is there energy healing you can do? Are you a healer? Are these things you want to learn about? Is that what lights you up? So being a starseed here, you also may felt like along your journey path, you have always had a hard time fitting in, wondering where your people were or what it was you came here to do. You know you have a higher calling, and Spirit is saying answer that call, but it's just important to follow what lights you up, because your mission here is very important, and just know that you are not alone. There are hundreds of thousands of other starseed people who have this ancient wisdom within them as well, and located all over the world. As you follow what lights you up, you will start to align with other star seeds and people who are part of your soul family, who will also support in creating heaven on earth. There's no getting around this. It is happening. Thank you, pile number 2. Those are your messages. If it resonated, if you enjoyed it, drop a comment down below, like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. The vampire film that contains a channel message for you is the 1987 film Lost Boys, directed by Joel Schumacher, starring Jason Patric and Corey Haim. Now, this film is about two brothers and their mother, and they move to Santa Carla to live with their grandfather to kind of sort things out so the mom can get on her feet and help provide a better life for her two kids. And they're both in high school, and they meet some very interesting people. The oldest son, Michael, he comes into contact with this group of rebel type guys, and he wants to be a part of their gang, only to realize that they are actually vampires. And it becomes him fighting his inner demons along with battling the vampires in the process and coming into more truth about the situation that's going on in Santa Carla. So let's see what messages came out in your cards. We have the Seven of Pentacles, Magician and the Mirror, and Wisdom. Okay, so with the Seven of Pentacles, I feel like some of you are working very hard on something right now. You are planting seeds and you're not exactly seeing the results right now. And I can see that this has, in a sense, kind of had you feeling frustrated because you're wondering when you're going to see the fruits of your labor with what it is that you are working on. And with the Magician and the Mirror, what I'm feeling here is Spirit is asking you to look around at your surroundings and see what is being reflected in your outer reality, because our outer reality is a reflection of what we are thinking and feeling on the inside. So Spirit is showing me the scene in Lost Boys when Michael is coming into the realization that he is turning into a vampire, and his brother sees that his reflection is starting to fade in the mirror. So with what you are working on right now, are you truly connected to what you are doing, and are you truly allowing yourself to be seen? Because like in the movie Lost Boys, Michael was kind of, in a sense, losing himself. And that is why his reflection started to fade in the mirror. He was being reflected to who he truly was not. So what is being reflected out here to you? What is the mirror showing you about yourself and what it is you're doing? And also pay attention to the feelings that you have while working on this project that you're working on. Does it bring you true joy? Does it bring you true passion? Because if the answer is yes, then for sure keep going with it. But if it's a sense of dread, like, are you just doing this to show up to do it? What is your why? Get really specific about your why. And with the Wisdom card here, I feel like there have been people in your life who have actually provide some really wise counsel, some really good advice, and Spirit is saying that you have not exactly chosen to follow that. And while it is important to trust your own moral compass, sometimes there are people that Spirit places in our lives to give us guidance that will help get us to where we need to be. And in the movie Lost Boys, the angels are showing me the scene at the end with the grandpa and how he's the one that actually comes in and saves the day, and they all are like baffled because he has one of the most iconic ending lines of a film. He's just like, one thing about Santa Carla that I could never stomach. He goes, all the damn vampires, And it was just interesting because in that moment they knew that their grandpa already knew that there were vampires terrorizing the town. And instead of going through all the heartache that they went through to get to the end of the film, maybe if they had sat down and listened to his wise counsel, they would have come up with a better strategic plan in order to take them down instead of going through everything that they had to go through. So definitely pay attention to some wise counsel, some guidance from somebody in your life who may be trying to help you with your situation right now. We have the Princess of Wands, 6th Chakra Archangel Metatron, and Dissipating. Okay, so some of you on this reading have the Princess of Wands energy, which is a very adventurous, light-hearted, free spirit type of energy. Very passionate about what you do, always up for anything, always down to do whatever. And Spirit is showing me Star, played by Jamie Gertz in Lost Boys. The scene where she's dancing at the concert in the beginning, towards the beginning of the film, and how Michael's just drawn to her because she just has this really charismatic free spirit energy. And even people who were watching this film were so drawn to her because of her, not only because of her beauty, but just because of her laid back nature and how she approached life with a lighthearted abandon. Like, she wasn't afraid to get up there and dance and live life fully. So I feel like there are a lot of you who have that same type of energy, who are kind of embodying Star. And with that, with the 6th chakra Archangel Metatron is coming in very strongly because you have this amazing potential, because you're so down to do whatever. It's just important that you get a crystal clear vision about what it is you want to do in your life, create in your life, and just what do you want to cultivate. Because if you don't have a crystal clear vision, it can keep you just like in this stuck, stagnant energy, and that is why we're seeing the Dissipating card. And they are showing me the scene where Star, because she's, in the process of turning into a vampire, she sleeps in a cave all day. The vampires sleep all day. And then Michael's, once he started to turn into a vampire, he was sleeping all day. Like, I'm seeing the scene where he is laying on the bed, sleeping with his sunglasses on. They're showing me that there is a need for you to take action to get to where you want to be. And that's how you get out of the dissipating energy. Consistency builds momentum over time. So just doing a little bit every day towards your goals, towards what you want to do, is going to help out in the long run very much. So get crystal clear on your plan and continue to take action. Do what you have to do to get out of the stuck procrastination energy. We have the 9 of Wands in reverse. Woman holding a heart. And abundance. Okay, so Spirit is showing me with the 9 of Wands in reverse here that you may have built up some walls around your heart due to circumstances from the past that have hurt you. But Spirit is saying that if you allow yourself to break down these walls, there is someone in your life who is offering you their heart right now, and an abundance of love wants to come in. But there's a need for you to break down those walls to truly let it in. Open your heart to this person, who this person is that wants to give you their heart, if this is something you're open to, because there is a lot of love here. And Spirit is showing me the scene in Lost Boys where Star goes to Michael's house and she is at the bottom, or she's standing on the concrete or in the yard beneath the window, and she's like, "Can I come up?" He goes, "No, get out of here." And instead she just flies right up to the window and he's like, what are you doing? He goes, what's happening to me? You knew what was happening to me. Why didn't you tell me? He has this wall built up towards her because he is angry that she wasn't as honest with him as what she probably should have been. But if you remember, she actually did tell him when he went to drink the wine that it was in fact the head vampires, or he wasn't the head vampire, the guy played by Kiefer Sutherland, David, when he went to drink the wine, it was his wine, and that's actually what got him into the course of turning into a vampire. And she's like, it's blood. She like tried to warn him. So she actually has been offering her love to him throughout the entire film, but he has like kind of been blocked towards it. So there's somebody in your life, there's somebody offering you their heart. There's a lot of abundance that wants to come in, but Spirit is saying if you allow yourself to break down those walls, open your heart, and let this love in, you could really experience something truly amazing. Like I'm seeing Star when she puts her hand on his face, and he's like, because you care so much about me. And she's like, yes, I do. And he just swats her hand away. Like he's not opening up to her in the film. So definitely, if you are in the market for wanting a love relationship right now, it could prove very beneficial to explore this and see where it goes. So if you're open to staying open, then definitely explore that because it could be something truly amazing. We have temperance, anxiety in reverse, and prayer. Okay, so with the temperance and the anxiety in reverse, I feel like there is something going on in your life right now that has caused a lot of anxiety. And like they're showing me Corey Haim's character Sam in Lost Boys, where he is having so much anxiety once he finds out that there are vampires in Santa Carla. Like he sleeps with garlic on. He gets freaked out by the taxidermy statues, which I'd probably be freaked out by those two, not gonna lie. But he like has to put them in the closet, like he has trouble sleeping, and he's just experiencing all of this anxiety. And I can see that you're experiencing you have experienced some anxiety in regards to some type of certain situation, but because it's in reverse, I can see that you're actually coming out of that, and that's because the angels have heard your prayers. So the prayers that you have been having about a situation in your life that has been causing you worries, fear, and anxiety, the angels have heard your prayers and they are helping you move out of that. And Spirit is showing me the scene where the Frog Brothers and Sam, they all decide to take down the vampires. They're coming into their power, and they go to the church to fill up their super soaker water guns with holy water. And it was just like that moment where they decided to turn to God and the Holy Spirit to help them get through this process. Spirit is showing me that you have turned to the divine, you have turned to your angels, and you have prayed, and that your prayers are being answered, and they are helping you get rid of this anxiety that you are feeling in your life right now. Then we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse, Justice, Adjacent Possibilities, and Instinct. Okay, so the first message here is to definitely trust your instincts, because with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, this represents someone who is very selfish and controlling, and this is representing David, the vampire in Lost Boys, how controlling he was over all the people in his life, how controlling he was over Star. Like I'm being shown the scene where Star wanted to go ride off with Michael on his motorcycle, and David was like, Star, and she looked back and he looked at her like, yeah, and all he had to do was just look at her and she went with him. So he was very controlling, and he had this just amazing manipulation tactic that he used with all the people in his life, and it served him well until the very end when, you know, Michael had to come into combat And justice was actually served in the end, because in the final scene with Michael and David, David is trying to exert that controlling power over to Michael, and he's just like, he goes, "There's no hope for you." He's like, "My blood is in your veins." But Michael was realizing that he had adjacent possibilities, that there were other options available to him, and that he still had his own blood in his veins too. And he's like, "So is mine." And then he ended up like killing David, and it just served justice. It was the ultimate karma for everything that David had put everyone through. So there is definitely something in your life right now where there is definitely a controlling type of person around you, but justice can be served here by you recognizing that you have other options, that there are other possibilities, that you don't have to do everything that this person tells you to do, and that you are your own unique person, and to trust your instincts. If you are around somebody, that somebody is around you that is controlling in your life right now, pay attention to your instincts, because you do have a lot of other options available to you. You don't have to listen to what this person is telling you to do, and that justice will be served when you take back your power. Realize this person doesn't actually have any control over you. You control yourself, and the wheel of karmic justice will turn in your favor. And that is just one of the universal laws of the universe. So be mindful of that. Your last message is get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. So yes, this feels very much like overly sensitive people who are very sensitive to energy, which it says on the card empath here, so you very well may be an empath. And the reason why it is so important to get grounded is because as an empath, it can be hard to discern which energy is your own and what is other people's. So by grounding, you actually help bring that energy back into yourself, and it helps you better discern the type of energies that are going on around you and within you. And amazing way to get grounded is to actually what is called earthing, which is to walk on the bare earth in your bare feet. Because by doing that, you're connecting with nature, and there's something so powerful and so healing about that, because your bare skin is touching the earth and you're connecting with Mother Nature by doing that. You can also get grounded by just taking long walks in nature, putting your palms on a tree, touching something of the earth, and meditating, and just really going within. Because as an empath, you can be very subject to energy vampires who like to feed on your energy and try to take that for themselves. So getting grounded will be very important for you at this time. So do what you have to do to get grounded and cultivate that as a daily routine, because it's very important to be consistent with it. Thank you, pile number 3. Those are your messages. If you enjoyed the reading, if it resonated, be sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.